Today we're going to be focusing on back mobility, flexibility and a little bit of strengthening. So many of us are prone to bad backs for various reasons. Please be very careful. If anything doesn't feel right, feel free to skip that movement, try the next one. I'm going to try and keep it quite gentle. So find any comfortable seated or kneeling position. All I want you to do is just sit naturally, have your hands placed anywhere you feel comfortable on your body, by the floor, whatever. And I just want you to take a breath. Really feel the air expand into the side of the ribs, back of the ribs. As you breathe out, just want you to imagine you've got a piece of string growing you up, or pulling you up towards the ceiling, growing a bit taller as you breathe out. We breathe in, just let it relax. We're just introducing the tiniest movement. Breathe out, grow a bit taller. We're just going to take two more here. And last one. And I want you to stay in that taller position. Just be careful you're not kind of popping the ribs out, sticking the ribs out. Just think of drawing the rib cage in slightly. Right arm comes either overhead or, if you prefer, with the arm bent. Take a breath. This time we're coming over to the left, opening this right side of the body. And then same again, breathe in, grow tall, breathe out. I'm just going to take another three, so if you've got the arm overhead, be careful the ear and the shoulder aren't close together. Just whichever you prefer there. When we're working with the back, the spine, we do try and move it in all different directions. So some lateral work, which is what we're doing now. Some rotational work where you would twist, and some flexion and extension, which we'll come to. Let's swap sides. Remember your choice here, bent arm, straight arm, or if neither of those are good for you, you could actually just keep your arm by the side of the body. Grow tall, draw the ribs in, take a breath. We breathe out, this time we're opening the left side of the body. I'm just going to take about three. Breathing out into your stretch, feel this opening through that left side. Try and keep really planted in your bum, your pelvis, your hips, so the movement is kind of coming from the rib cage up. Let's go one more. Okay, I'm going to ask you to reposition. Twist this way. With the left leg bent and the right leg straight, okay? And we're just going to take a really quick stretch here, either just kind of starting here. We're going to hug the hands around this left leg, the bent leg, nice and tall. And you can either stay here, hold it in for a moment. If you feel like you can go a little bit further with the stretch, we lift this left foot over the right leg. And either here, pause, or you could even twist into this bent leg, which will be my choice. Gives you a slight bit of stretch just towards the real lower back and bum muscles there. So just wait to breathe. You can kind of come into that slightly slouched as we started with, and then grow a bit taller, or you can just stay tall and focus on that breath. And stay here for two more breaths. And one. Let's unravel and swap legs. So we've got the left leg straight, right leg bent, either here, closer into the body, hold over the left leg, and option to twist. We're going to stay either just tall or grow in and out. So breathing out as we grow a little bit taller, or just stay in that tall position. And one more time. And then return to any seated or kneeling position, just whatever you are comfortable with. We're going to stay again tall, draw the rib cage in, and all we're doing here is walking around into our twist. So here comes our rotation for the spine. So just walking the hands either across the body on the floor, and I'm just using them to pull me around a little bit into that stretch. I'm taking a breath in as I'm facing towards the camera, as I'm facing forwards. And breathing out into the stretch. We have three. 2, one. Okay, we're going to start repositioning. So if you bring yourself back to on your kind of sit bones and either have the legs bent, or if you prefer straight, or somewhere in between, partially bent. You could always place a pillow underneath the knees to give them some support if it can be a little bit uncomfortable for some people going straight in the legs. You can also sit on a cushion or a pillow. Sometimes feels a little bit nicer in the hips. And have our arms out long, okay? We're not kind of stretching into it, we're just gonna let the arms grow forwards, drop the shoulders, keep that tall position, don't stick the ribs out. Think of ribs in, belly button in, tiniest bit. Take a breath, and then we're gonna bend the left arm as you reach that right arm forward. I want you to think of a bow and arrow, okay? So left arm bends, right arm reaches. We're gonna keep the vision to that left arm. And then we go the other way, right arm bends, left arm reaches. So just slightly different version of that spine twist. So really trying to lengthen this straight arm, and it should feel quite nice for the back, this, hopefully. And we have 4, 3, 2, and 1. And I just want you to have a quick rest there by coming all the way to lying down. You can have a pillow or a cushion underneath the head. Slowly bring yourself to the floor, walking the feet towards the bum. Maybe bringing the arms a bit wider away from the body. Just letting the legs drop over to one side. Don't force them to the floor, just see where they flop. You can look over the opposite shoulder. And then we're going to swap sides. So legs dropped the opposite way if you want to look over the opposite shoulder. Now you want to be really careful as the legs drop to one side. If your arm and your shoulder are lifting, you've pushed the knees or you've let the knees go a little bit too far. So you could always take them part way and then one more in each direction. Okay, coming through center, final time, opposite way. You can look over the opposite shoulder as an option. And then coming back through the center, we're just going to take a moment to either hug one knee in for about 10 seconds and then swap, or both legs in for about 20 seconds. And I just want you to pause there. You might want to rock a little bit on the spine if that feels nice. If that doesn't feel good for any reason, you can always just stay here and focus on some deep breaths. So whatever you feel is right for you, we're taking about 20 seconds. Okay, so from this position, I want you to roll over onto your left. Again, you can use a cushion, pillow under your head. I'm just going to prop my left arm to use as a pillow instead. The legs are bent, and we're going to bring the feet and the knees a little bit forward rather than having the feet behind you. Now, you've got your right hand free. I want you to reach it as long as you can forwards. Okay, so right arm goes long. I want you to keep the vision with that right arm. I'm going to breathe out, and you're just opening into that, again, as much as you feel comfortable. You might need to clear a little bit of space around you, behind you. Now, what we don't want to happen is, as we're opening through the upper back especially, we don't want the hips to kind of roll back with it. I want you to try and keep the hips forwards, the legs forward. This right arm is long, we're breathing out as we rotate, twist, and then inhale back forwards. I'm just going to take about another 3. And same as before, if you don't like this straight arm, you could always do it from bent instead. Okay, final couple. And then just placing this right hand down, I'm going to lift this right leg, Draw it in towards the chest slightly. Flex the toes. Breathe out to push. Try and see if you can just pick this bottom waist up away from the floor slightly. Now this might not seem like a back strengthening exercise. We're working a little bit into the surrounding muscles, so towards the glutes. Now as you pull your knee towards the chest, that's going to slightly stretch on those really deep lower spinal muscles that run and connect through the pelvis. I'm just going to go for about 3, 2, and 1. And relax. When you're ready, we're just going to slowly move onto your right side for the same 2 exercises. So if you're using a pillow or a cushion, bring that to support the head. So I'm lying on my right arm is supporting the head, the hips are stacked, the knees are stacked, the feet and the knees are slightly forward. This left arm now goes long, take a breath. We breathe out, we twist. And same as on the other side, just be really careful as you're coming into that twist. That the hips aren't traveling back with you. You'll probably feel it because this top leg will move with it. Left arm goes long. I think you're trying to reach something ahead of you. Breathe out, we rotate. And we'll take a couple more. Last time, slide the arm long, keep it long, open up, breathe out. This time we're bringing that left hand all the way to the floor, towards that right arm. I'm going to lift this left leg, it comes a little bit in towards the chest. Remember that's where you're getting a brief, small stretch through the deep glute muscles, deep spinal muscles. Breathe out, we go long. Breathe in, pull it back. And same as on the other side, so if you can just pick this bottom waist up ever so slightly so it's now not slumped into the floor. And we'll take about 3, 2, and 1. Okay, have a moment there. When you're ready, I'm just going to ask you to come to a kneeling position, and just before we start our exercises here, we're just going to have the knees separated slightly, and we're going to rock back into what we call the child's pose position. So think of the arms again long, the palms and the fingers press into the floor, and we're just going to come forward, take a breath. Sink low here, the vision is down to the floor here. You should feel a stretch more towards the upper back, the upper part of the spine, maybe even into the shoulders, the back of the shoulders. So from this position, we're going to transfer to a 4-point kneel with the knees under hips, hands or elbows under shoulders. If you don't like being low down, you could always prop yourself on the side of a small table or sofa even. So you choose wrists, elbows, floor, or something a little bit higher up. I want you to make sure you've got a gap here between the wrist or elbow and the knee, and you're not too close here. I want you to think of making sure you're not dropping into the back and the shoulders. Widen the shoulders, scoop the belly up. And then from there, we're going to extend left leg, and if you can, add a small lift. You don't want to see this big up to the ceiling, okay? We're alternating left and right. Either step it back onto the toes, or squeeze the back of the leg with a lift. The lift will be a little bit stronger for back strengthening. I've got the toes pulled down to the floor, the heel up to the ceiling. I'm alternating left and right. I'm breathing out to extend back or extend with a lift. We're just going to take 3. Two, and 1. Have a second to just come off your wrists or your elbows. We're going to repeat. So I'll give you a choice of progressing it slightly, or if it was enough, the exercise we've just done, we can go through that again. So you can choose. Okay, so wrists, elbows, higher up on something propped, making sure the back isn't dipped, scoop into the belly. Alrighty, so we're going to extend the left leg. You can add the lift if you want to, but we're also going to extend the right arm and maybe consider lifting both. Okay, we're swapping over exactly the same as what we did before. Okay, scoop the belly up, left arm, right leg, either extend. You could add a lift through the leg and the arm, or just one of them. Or if it's too much, you can always just choose the leg lift. So I want you to make sure as you're lifting, especially if you're doing the arm and the leg together, you work in opposites. If you're doing the lift, make sure you don't go any higher than about hip, shoulder height. So you've got a couple of choices here. And we're just aiming for 5. 4. Be careful as you get tired, you're not dipping here. 3. 2. And then final one. Okay, and I want you to see if it feels okay for you. Just bring the knees a little bit wider. Slide the arms forward like we did before. You can sink to the floor. You can go as long as you can in the arms. I'm going to stay for 3 breaths. If that's not comfortable, you could always go forearms. And then our final exercise, if you just bring the legs back together, I'm going to lie it down on the floor. Now you could have here a pillow or cushion supporting the forehead. We're going to bring the arms bent, palms down to the floor, and legs along. I want you to think of a little bit of a squeeze through the back of the leg towards the bum, not really, really tense, just a tiny bit of muscle engagement through here to support underneath the lower back. Draw the shoulders down away from the ears, squeeze the shoulder blades together. So let me just show you, there's my natural position. Shoulder blades draw down and together. So they're quite strong in the upper back. Take a breath. Bum and legs are slightly tense. I want you to use that upper back to lift. Now you don't want your vision up here. I want you to stay looking towards the floor or slightly ahead of you on the floor. Shoulder blades pull down, they squeeze together. Pull the shoulder blades down each time. Draw them up together. So I want you to think of pulling away from the floor with the upper back rather than pushing with your hands, okay? Now if it feels okay, you might want to purposefully push a bit with the hands, only if it's okay and it's not hurting your lower back. If it is, please keep it really small. Pull the shoulders down, squeeze them together. I'm just going to take 2. And 1. And then from there, taking the weight into your hands for a moment, I want you to bring yourself back. Either narrow stance through the knees or wide stance through the knees. One final time. And we're just going to take the forehead to the floor, chest down. Remember, you can be on your forearms, you could lean on a sofa. And we're just going to stay for a breath. And then walking the hands back towards the legs. Now you can either stay in this wide position or you can reposition to any seated or kneeling. Think of that growing tall that we did at the beginning. We're going to walk it around to one side and hold, looking over this back shoulder. You can have your hands on the floor, on your body. And then same the other direction. Facing back forwards. And bring right arm bent. We're just going to come into that side bend from before, just for 2. And 1. And then swapping sides, left arm bends. breath, one more. And just weight to face forward. We're going to just roll the shoulders for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and circling the wrists for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you are all finished.